on, everyone? So what's it like to live with my dream car, my dream daily driver? And I do say dream daily driver for a very good reason. My dream car would still be in a Lamborghini Aventador, so you know, but you wouldn't daily a Lamborghini Aventador. So what's it like to live with? Well, after 4 weeks of owning this car, I can say it's met up to every single expectation I had of it. It is insane to live with. I mean, when you want it to be comfy, it's comfy, but when you want it to make noise and be just obnoxious, you can. And it's seriously insane. I mean, the only downside is every time you do that, you see your fuel gauge go down, but you know, that's to be expected with a car like this. And at the end of the day, I bought it knowing that it would do exactly that. So not a problem. I mean, seriously, the performance of this thing is insane. I know the noise is just something special. Every time you put your foot down and you hear that noise, it's just, I mean, come on. It makes you want to do it more and more. Now, living with this day to day, you know, parking up at the average supermarket and stuff, you know, it's a bit annoying at times, but it's not a deal breaker. And the only other thing, obviously, as I said, is the fuel. Them two things inside, and I think it is genuinely the best car that you can probably buy for your money to daily drive. The space and size is just, you know, usable, and that is a good thing. You've got the performance of a performance car, and then also the refinement of a big luxury SUV. In terms of handling on this car, you go around the corner and it handles very, very flat and dynamic. You leave it in sport mode, sorry, you leave it in comfort mode, and you do get a little body roll, but nothing too major. The main thing, like I say, is that it drives like a performance car when you need it to, but at the same time, when you don't need it to, it drives kind of comfy, which is exactly what a Range Rover should be. And I'll show you now. I mean, going around this corner, these seats, the seats themselves, they hug you. You feel connected to the car. You don't want to move at all, but they're really comfy at the same time. So not only they're supportive, but they're comfy. The Meridian sound system is amazing, by the way. I would definitely recommend you get that and spec that in your car. Obviously, if you're buying second-hand, because you can't buy these new anymore. I am a bit sad to see this 5-litre engine go and be replaced by a 4.4-litre, but hopefully within the next year I'll be able to actually drive one of them and see what that's like in comparison. In terms of cruising and going down the road, what type of MPG are we getting? Well, I'm averaging, on average, about 17 miles per gallon. Now, on a good run, I mean just motorway driving, 70 mile an hour, you know, for a good half an hour to an hour, you're probably ending up somewhere like 23, 24 miles per gallon. Now, if you're doing exactly what I've just been doing before, which is, then you're probably more like 11. So overall, 17 seems to be the number which I seem to land on from mixed driving. But that's absolutely fine for me. The thing is a 100-litre tank. Now, for a full tank, you'll get a 320-mile range, which is weird because the Tesla Model 3, that long range I have, also does the same, except that costs £7.50 to fill up. But this is a completely different drive and so much more fun. One thing I do want to say though is, like, you know, from wanting this car for years, literally, to be in this car and driving it now after wanting that, and you know, setting out in that challenge that I was going to get one by this summer. I know it's not very British summertime weather, but you know, I can't change that. But what I can change is I change my mood, I change my outlook on life, and now I'm finally in what I think is the best perfect daily driver. If you're looking at buying one of these, I would 1000% recommend. It's literally the best car I've had, and I've had a few cars, but this is definitely the best. I've had 135i's, I've had a normal Range Rover, and this just seems to combine everything that, like I say, the Tesla, this just seems to combine everything into that big one SUV, which is really something special. What's it like to actually live with, and you know, what's the comfort and everything else like in it? Well, the suspension is very smooth. It can be a bit fidgety over times. The steering tends to tramline, So what I mean by that is if you have an indent in the road or the camber of the road, the steering wheel really wants to you know, go into them grooves, and you can feel it pulling side to side. It almost looks like you're driving under the influence or something. But overall, the car itself knows exactly what it wants to do at exactly the right time. The gearbox can be in comfort mode. You know, it's fairly fast to respond, but it has got that slight delay. You put it in dynamic and all that changes. It really breaks loose. In terms of the exhaust note, I find myself driving with the exhaust note on all the time. I don't want to turn it off. Why would I buy a normal SVR if I didn't want to be obnoxious? The thing is loud, and the camera doesn't do it justice. It is loud. Now, I'm going to get the exhaust on because basically it's got a muffler in, which is part of EU regulations, and all that kind of does is basically noise reduces the sound of the exhaust to meet EU regulations. Now that's something that we don't want, so we're going to get rid of that. The cost aside, let's break down the cost, okay? Because that's the biggest thing with one of these. Can you afford one? And like I say, back in January, I wanted to make this deal to myself that I was going to afford one by the time in summer came. What did I have to do to get that? Well, so I had to change a few things in my life, and one of them was to basically just stop being employed. And I'll say that as a very loose term. I mean, carry on being employed, but do other things at the same time. And I think, you know, how many times do we go on in life of wanting to do something we're not actually doing it? And getting this daily driver was one of the things I knew would motivate me to do exactly that. Like I say, this is something I've always wanted, and essentially what you need to do is you need to work hard, not just in what your day job is, but also think of something to do on the side, some type of business, or, you know, if you're invested in something like the stock market or the forex market, do that as well, because that will really elevate your cash flow, which obviously helps do something like this. So let's break down cost. So as I mentioned before, it does 17 miles per gallon. Insurance on this thing for me as a 28-year-old in the north of England, which is probably not the best area, you're looking at £2,800 a year. Now that's quite a lot. Road tax, because it's under 5 years old, it's £550, I think, something like that, for, you know, 5 years, and then after that it goes down, so I think it's 140 a year. That's not too bad. To fill this thing, like I say, is 140, 150 quid. You've got to use 99 octane or 90 octane. Well, you don't have to, but I recommend that you do if you do it. The next thing, you know, you need to look at is what does it cost to actually buy the car. That's the biggest thing, right? The buying the car. Now I put £1,000 down, and my payments are £920 a month for this £70,000 car. Relatively low mileage at 24,000 miles. And like I say, you know, when you're looking at £1,000 for a car and all the extras, you're probably looking around 1,500 per month just to run this car. So it's something you need to be aware of. But overall, this car is sick, and yeah, I mean, this is pretty much everything I ever wanted in a car, and it feels kind of nice to actually be in it. And like I say, knowing that, you know, after 8 months of hard work, let's not beat around the bush, 8 months of hard work, I'm finally in it, and yeah, it's just amazing. So thanks for watching this video. What I do want to say is this channel is not a car reviewing channel. Essentially, this is my life, and what I'm doing is documenting basically what I've done to change it. This is not a, oh, follow this scheme and you'll get there as well. This is not one of them. This is genuinely, I'm not, you know, looking to sell anything or promote something, right? There's so many of them channels on YouTube right now of buy some course, and fair credit to them people, but that's not what I'm doing. And do I believe in them? No. But what I am doing is documenting what I'm doing, in the hopes that someone else out there with the same mindset, who's come from a similar background, you know, can really try and just show what is possible for the average person. Not selling some course, not trying to scam people, not trying to, you know, hustle your way in life, but just doing the basics and what you can do, working hard, and what you can achieve. And really, I'm testimony to that in the past 8 months. And like I say, and not just the 8 months, right? I mean, 8 months of acting, but the last 10 years of my life, all them experiences built up have manifested to this time and this place, and without my experiences of them past 10 years, there is no way I could have done any of this. And that includes mistakes as well, right? I've made mistakes in life, and I've used them mistakes in addition to doing something like this to change my life, basically. So thank you. If you have enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. It does help me grow this channel. Obviously I am new, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be content which is getting improved and all this kind of thing. So if you do, I really do appreciate it. Probably rambling on now, so we'll cut it. So see you later.